just unloading on this wave. One of the nicer waves of the heat. And I think he must have looked down the line at some point during this ride and realised that Hira hadn't made his wave. And he would have just gone, oh, you know what, this is in the bag. I can have fun with this wave now. You watch him set up this down the line, off the top, and the money turned right there. Beautiful floater that pulled him right around that section. And he came out of that with a lot of stoke, I think, you know, feeling like, yeah, I did the job in that heat. It was a tough heat, and I came home with the goods.
No, it's definitely. And putting together still two 7-point rides, high 7s, and an 8.5. So,
yeah,
Tommy Whitaker kind of taking a page out of Bobby Martinez's book from an earlier round one heat and just throwing down plenty of good and excellent wave scores. Just hope that, you know, didn't blow his load too soon. But we'll see the answer to that in round 3.
Yeah, you know he will. That's very much so. And you know, by no means bad luck there for Hira. He put in a great heat too, and that's the kind of heat that would have won plenty of other heats that have happened today. Fantastic performance from the kid from Tahiti, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. You know, bummed with the loss, but knowing that he didn't go out, you know, with a whimper, he went out with a bang.
Put on a great performance, put a lot of pressure on one of the top 16 surfers in the world, and you know, if he'd chosen the right wax, maybe he would have stayed on that last maneuver. But here we are back out in the lineup.
Look at that on the takeoff there. Luke Egan getting the better of Dean Morrison in a brief hassle battle for that wave. Luke now launching down the line. It's a fast wave, but Luke's a fast surfer, man. Let's see if he can make it around this section. He does, up high. Oh, my goodness, hacked it so high. And outside
right behind him, Dingo.
Well, let's see Dingo work this wave out over. Can he make this section? It's a long wave, man. I don't know if he can make it all the way down. He's going to give it a bash. Smash off the top.
Ooh.
Wow. I wonder if he has
a fall at the end of that one, because that could have been a keeper.
I wonder if he hesitated then and just thought to himself, maybe I should go to 360, and then he didn't.
Yeah, I think he was thinking reverse and then decided not to.
Well, we'll be cutting to into good old GT. GT, man.
And Tommy Witt. 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, bud. Nice work there at the end. That 7.53 put you over the top.
Yeah, it's tricky out there, you know. Me and Hira were talking. I think it's tricky. You don't need a bigger board, but your small board feels small. So it's sort of toss of the coin what to ride and, you know, where to do your turns.
Well, you know, it's funny because, you know, for the viewers online, it's kind of big and thumpy out there. It doesn't look it on the web. So, you know, give people a perspective on how kind of thumpy this wave really is.
Yeah, there's so much power coming through those waves. And you know that if you're not heading down the line, if you want to go top to bottom, but it's so quick out there that you've got to keep flowing. So it's just a real tricky wave at the moment as it's getting higher.
And then, you know, the next up on this wave, okay, we've determined that it's thumpy, but also it's kind of a wave of pace.
Yeah, as I said, you really got to read it well. If you try and go too much top to bottom, you're going to get caught behind, so you've got to flow a couple of floaters in there and get out in front of it, and you've got to try and stick those last turns. I got nailed on one, and, you know, it's fun out there, a lot of waves.
And then next up, you know, right now we have the event within the event, the Nixon Tube time for the $10,000 watch. What is it, 3 diamonds, 3 rubies, 3 sapphires, and a porcelain watch. And right now you are holding it down with 4 seconds.
Yeah, I know. We say this about the expression sessions, you know. You can't win it in the first 10 minutes of the session. So if I get it, it's going to be great. But there's a lot of surfing to go, and there's going to be a lot of tubes.
Now, up above us, Ash, can you look up above? Can you see your little buddies are up there rooting for you?
Yeah, a little Aussie contingent up there. Snake Boy, the Godfather's up there giving us a few tips on this wave because a few of us rookies sort of haven't surfed it too often. There's a pumping one going through right now, JT.
And, you know, and how is that the waves are just continuing to pump through here? Looks like we have red on the end. Is that Louis? Louis up and right. Was that Dino? Oh, Dino on his back, and nice hit in the pocket right there. He comes around the corner. I mean, we can barely see him because the wave is bending away from us, but Dino making it all the way down the line. And Tommy, as he's kind of riding out with a big finish, Dean Morrison right there. You know, that's the thing. This wave is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. Dino took off halfway down there. It was a solid 6-footer, and he belted that thing. That's going to be a huge score. And I think he's got Luke Egan in his heat, so it's pretty funny having Luke around again.
Well, we'll see how Louis and them does against Mr. Dean Morrison. The waves are pumping. Let's go back to Nick and Mailman. Thanks, Tommy.
Hey, boys.
Man, well.
Thank you very much, GT. Congratulations, Tom Whitaker. And, of course, Dino, not Dino Andino, but Dino Dingo Morrison absolutely going to town on that one. Can't wait to see what the judges thought of that, Nick.
And you know what? I reckon that things are changing faster than we might expect. I think the wind's just gone offshore here, Dave.
It has.
There's just the lightest bit of spray coming off the backs of the waves right now, ladies and
ultimate
gentlemen.
serendipity, Nick.
Well,
Everything has come together.
I don't think there's any need to be disconsolate anymore. Want another big word, mate?
Oh, please.
No, I'm going to let it rest right there. Brilliant wave, though, by Dean Morrison. You saw him put together one of the finest rides of the day so far, and actually it's a wave that, you know, we should have been tipped off to by Tommy Whitaker's last performance, because I think you see here, brilliant takeoff. You see the tide turning in favour of a regular foot surfer here.
Triple overhead too?
It's a solid, it's triple overhead for Dino, not for everybody. Up and off the top, and you can see the backside advantage there. The angle you can get coming down out of the top of the wave, the control you can get out of that heel first bottom turn, leaning hard here, Dino, and then coming around and
critical part of the
smack.
wave. Whoa.
Beautiful turn. Probably I think the best backside turn we've seen today so far. Perfectly timed. Placed it right on the top of the lip and came at it with ultimate control. Comes around and hacks off a slightly different type of turn again. Once again, variety counting for so much out here at Mundaka, as at all our WCT locations. And he goes up for a last big move, and he puts the razzmatazz on coming down there. Look at Dino. He should have been a boxer, man.
Reading that wave perfectly. Well, didn't he grow up in the shadow of Mr. Muhammad Bugs?
Yeah, I guess poor little fella, he did. I don't know how he survived that one, but
showing some of that
nonetheless,
really kid style. Ooh.
Nonetheless, both our surfers now in the lineup,
the sets
and
are just on.
Kaboom! The set's
Wind has
rolling
turned
now.
Offshore, it is sheet glass out there. Still a bit of bump on the face, as Tommy Whitaker was telling us, but
Dino having to actually duck dive away
Here's
from the
Big
lineup.
Louie.
And Big Louie, Luke Egan, defending champion here at Mundaka. He's going to have to race to get around this, and he goes up, and it doesn't barrel, and it catches him. Geez, he's a power surfer, though. He gets around the section, pulls up, and it's all over there, I think, for Louie.
Straighten out and get the ski, or is he going to try and paddle his way back out the back?
Oh,
Looks like
I think he's going to
go
paddle.
For the paddle, yes, indeed.
He's going the paddle. And look at Dino just getting caught totally inside by this set.
Oh.
That wave there.
And there's still only
That
about
was a
6
winning
feet of
wave
water.
right there.
Oh, for sure.
Look at that
Neither of the
thing.
boys in position for that one. Dino in position to take it on the head, and Luke's just missed it out in the channel there.
Although Luke's position was as a spectator right then. You got to watch that wave rifle across the outside sandbar.
Dean's girlfriend going, go boy, go. Very happy about his last wave score, Nick, a 9.0.
Epic score there, 9-point ride there for Dean Morrison, and I think that might be our first manoeuvre 9.
It certainly is. Every single other one had at least a bit of a cover-up on it. McFanning's as well had a tube in it, did it not? Yes,
had a little
it did.
barrel in it, yep.
So moved into fifth best wave of the contest so far from Gold Coaster Dean Morrison. 9.0 to go with a 3.83.
Well,
Luke's sitting on a 4.0 and a 1.5, now needs an 8.84, but as some of our netizens have been writing in to let us know, if anyone in the contest can still find a barrel out there, it is our defending Billabong Pro Mundaka champion, Luke Egan, as we saw in his early heats. Unlucky not to win his round number 1 heat and move straight to round 3. Our defending event champ, Nick, definitely doesn't want to go out in round 2.
No, there's no doubt that Luke Egan doesn't want to lose right now. But I'll tell you what, he's running into one of the informed surfers in this event.
As Dean showed us with a...
Hey, man, little Dingo, right? He was on fire in his first heat. It was amazing. He didn't win it. Right now he's in fire in his second. Look at Bruce Irons. He looks like, how's his poker face?
Look at those
Look
two.
at you. You guys both suck. Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
You both
It's
suck.
okay.
They're up there. They're enjoying themselves. Bruce especially would be enjoying himself right now.
After taking Wardo in that one, because Wardo just poured it on from the beginning. We thought that might have still been a little bit too early in the day for Brucey to come out of his shell, but in the dying seconds just nailed the wave of the event so far, just as he did back in France, actually. A 9.57 and a 10.0 in the same heat. Well, Bruce did it with a 9.67 in this one to take first place away from Chris Ward.
That's right. And keep your eyes peeled, everybody, because there's another big set rolling into the contest zone right now. I'm not sure who's got priority now. I think
Neither
Luke
do I.
might have priority, actually. He might
Having
have got
chosen
himself
to
out there.
paddle back out. Yeah.
Let's have a look here. No, maybe not. Let's see. Dingo is the guy in logical position for this beautiful wave that's just hitting the sandbar now. You can see the wind combing that lip a little bit just as that wind begins to blow
He
now.
must have priority 'cause
Dingo's
he
going
wants
it.
this one. And
Boom, off and riding. Dean Morrison down to the bottom here. Hack! Oh, man. This guy's got the top of this wave dialed.
boom. I'll just do sound effects on this one.
Oh, my God. He took it one step too far on that last
Imagine
section
if he
there.
had pulled that last maneuver, he
Oh.
could have been right back up into the 8 to 10 point range.
Yeah, that's right. They would have had to have brought him back to the harbour after that one.
Just
He would have
letting
had
loose.
it would have taken a while to recover from that one emotionally, if you know what I mean, Dave.
Oh, I know. Well, not exactly what you mean, Nick, because I have never in my life been ever to surf even close to as well as Dean Morrison has been doing today. 9.0. Really interested to see what the judges are going to give him for those first two turns. Could easily be in the 6 to 7 point range.
I would think so. It certainly will confirm his position as leader in this heat right now.
6.33. There we go.
Blam,
So,
mate. They appreciated it.
Luke Egan combo needing a 15.34 and definitely now holding priority. I guess if he had priority and he let Dean Morrison go on that one, that would have been a major mistake
Oh,
that
yeah. He would
Luke
have
would
been.
not have made. So, and it is a little bit interesting because as we are in the priority man-on-man heats now, when guys choose to paddle out the back or catch the jet ski, that can really come into play. And here's that last wave of Dean Morrison. Why don't you take us through it, Nick?
Well, here you see again the backside, the heel advantage on the bottom turn. Dino leans and he goes straight up into this lip. Look at that. Perfect
Doesn't
placement.
get more vertical than that, does
Man,
it?
I don't know. I think that, I'm no critic at judges, man. They do a hard job, but I reckon they kind of underdid him on this wave. It's an incredible piece
Those
of
two
surfing.
turns are
Look
really...
at this. Oh, my God. There's people who go their whole surfing lives without getting close to that kind of turn. And now Dean tries to take it a step too far. Just comes up. And you know what? He
Mundaka
was,
says, that'll be enough, son.
hey, man, he was like a foot away from making that last turn then. I reckon.
Definitely.
All
I
he
think
needed
it
to
was
do was
only...
put that board up on the top of the lip and he would have been through
would have had
clean and recovering brilliantly. And if you're just joining us here, don't go away, man. Like,
Plenty
we're
of
in the midst
action
of a
out the
great
water,
heat
plenty
right
of
now.
action to come. This is Heat 4 of Round 2 coming up in Heat 5. Danny Wills and Yuri Sodre. And we haven't heard any kind of rumblings of putting this thing on hold. So with a little
No.
luck, could even go through Heat number 6 with Bede Durbridge and Adrian Buchan coming up. And keep your fingers crossed for Heat 7, Mark Occhilupo, Toby Martin, and Heat number 8. Most likely, if we get there, which would be the last of the day between Freddie P. and Mickey Pecan. But the suspense continues as the swell continues to build.
And let's go over to GT and see where he's at the moment.
Where are you, GT?
All right, GT here sitting with event director Mike Parsons. Now, we're under full moon conditions. The tides are varying to about 15 feet from low to high. And right now we're about midway through the tide. You're spot on call, Snips. Started out really rough. The waves are absolutely pumping. But the concern is, as it gets to that 15-foot high tide, are we going to be able to continue on, or how long?
Yeah, that's the big question right now. Great sets coming through. They're pouring through with the push of the tide, increasing swell. But like you said, we're a little past halfway through that, so we're probably at about 8 feet of tide on the bank right now, going to almost 15. So it's kind of a heat-by-heat thing where we monitor it. Right now it's actually really improved on a little bit higher tide, but 2 or 3 more heats, we'll see. Maybe there's enough swell creeping in to push through quite a few heats. It's one of those things where you just look at the quality of the sets and make sure there's enough opportunities and play it heat by heat. And I consult with, Perry Hatchett, who's the head judge, and hopefully we can squeak out 4 or 5 more heats. We'll see.
Well, how do you make that decision when you know somebody might be on that bubble heat?
Well, that's the the $1 million question. You got to really watch the heat before is how you make it. And when it just starts to slow down, you've got to make that call. You got to anticipate, roll the dice, and go, I think it's going to stop. We got to stop, because you don't want to leave that one heat hanging where they're sitting out there and it completely stops. It's happened out here a couple of times. It's happened in a lot of places actually throughout Europe where you get the huge tide swings. So that's the toughest part of being the contest director for sure, trying to make that call of when to stop and when to keep going. So, you get all your information and you make the best call, educated call you can make.
And do we have a wave being ridden? Here we go. Luke Egan with the paddle. Luke the wild card. A beefy wave right here. He takes off. Big Louis stands proud. Nice off the top. Oh! Man. Luke being the previous event, last time they ran the event here that he won, and we're all kind of rooting for the old guy. Now, let's talk about the swell prognosis. What is in the window? What do you expect?
Yeah, well, Surfline's been the official forecaster for the event. I've been on the phone with Sean Collins a lot every night. They're expecting the swell to peak this afternoon. Have some waves left tomorrow, but definitely on the drop. Our wind direction may be out of the southeast tomorrow. We'll see, which creates, up the face of the wave, but we're going to have to wait and see. But definitely waves left tomorrow on the way down, and then we have another swell coming Monday afternoon into Tuesday, not as big as this one, according to them. So we'll have to wait and see, but we should have some action over the next 4 or 5 days. We kind of have to, right? We're getting down to the business end of the event.
Action, Jackson. Okay, well, Snips, I know that we're going to get you back on set here after this next heat, but in the meanwhile, let's send it back to Dave Mailman and the beloved Nick Carroll. Thanks, Snipsy.
Well, thanks to both you guys, GT and contest director Mike Snips Parsons. Doing a great job down there on the beach and with the swell forecasts and contest calls. And Nick, apparently we're going to get a little video clip coming up of Luke Egan with some words on the sandbar. And everyone was really worried that Mundaka would have a hard time coming back, but back she is, and better than ever it looks like.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that Mundaka's operating at full throttle right now. There's no problem with this sandbar. Watching a set now pour into the contest zone. Two surfers, Luke Egan and Dean Morrison, paddling for position right now. Will either of them go one of these waves? There is one really solid one. Once again, the third, fourth wave of the set. The solid one hitting exactly on the takeoff zone. Look at this. Luke's having a look at this first one. Lets it go. And there's the wave. They both see it. They both know it's there. I think Dingo's the man with priority right now. So let's see if he bothers with this one. He cruises, lets it go.
And Luke as well.
Luke as well, and
Now
they're both looking for bigger game, I think. They're waiting for the absolute majorest possible set.
And what do you think about their positioning in the lineup, Nick? Because, once again, looks like conditions are changing. It's getting fat pretty quickly, and those big outside bombs, you can't really take off from the peak like the guys were doing earlier.
No, that's true. They're shifting a little bit wide. Only the very biggest waves are going to break cleanly off the top of the takeoff and peel right through. But I have to say, it looks like one of those biggest possible waves is coming. Here it comes. A very big, heavy wave here outside. Let's see. Luke Egan. Luke doesn't have priority, so he's got to go the first wave of this set. Luke driving out onto the face, hacking a big cutback. The big wave begins to approach Dean Morrison on the outside as Luke works away at his wave. Dean's wide.
He's having a look at it.
He's having a look at it. It's a monster.
It's closed out on Luke on the inside, so woof.
And Dean, well, you know what? This wave moved a little bit too far off the sandbar, I think. And Dean went up to do his move, and there was bump and stuff on the face, which you get when you're on slightly deeper water here at
down the
Mundaka.
line, exactly.
And he kind of came unstuck. And look at this wave, man, outside.
And no one out there.
Fourth wave of the set.
And fourth wave of the set. It's been the third of the fourth wave the whole way through. Once again, tactics coming into play as Dingo has decided to paddle out the channel out the back, and this time it's Luke Egan that's decided to take the jet.
That's right.
So we'll see who makes it out the back first and who gets the priority back. In the meantime,
that's right. Maybe we can cross now to a bit of an interview we did with Luke a bit earlier about the sandbar here at Mundaka.
The most exciting thing about being back in Mundaka is how much sand is out here. You know, we missed out on having the event last year because the lack of sand, and this year it's come back a tenfold. It's incredible. We just had low tide today, and you could have walked out to the takeoff spot. It's pretty cool, and that's a recipe for good waves if we get a good swell here.
Okay, thanks, Sunshine. We're back on.
Isn't virtual reality amazing? Can have
virtual reality
in the water and on the screen, interviewed all at the same time.
It's staggering, really. And if you've just logged on with us here at Mundaka, welcome to the Billabong Pro for 2006 event where dreams are coming true, Dave Marlin.
Yes, they are. Prayers are being answered here. Prayers of the surfers, contest organizers, and all the locals who are one of the warmest groups of people in the world as far as welcoming the top 45 to their hometown and to their wave.
Great human beings, one and all, and boy, they've got to be stoked to see some of this crew tackling their wave with such, I don't know, just aggression and technical expertise and precision and all that really good stuff.
There are a few other great human beings in the foreground. That's Francois Lietz, one of our water patrol, as well as Billabong Europe's swell forecaster, with Billabong Europe brand manager Reed Pinder, otherwise known as Ace. Yes, he has had a hole in one of his life. And a big, tall Carl Weiser in the middle, ex-ASP judge, and now Billabong Europe sports marketing manager. So 3 of the key players at this Billabong Pro Mundaka event.
Didn't Weiser look like ultra cool then, man?
Oh, I mean, fully.
He's just standing there going, see, I told yous, you know.
The Albert Einstein of the surf world.
Yeah, 5 days of boredom, but now we're on.
We are on. And back with a vengeance, the wave here at Mundaka. And out in the lineup, 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this heat. Once again, Luke Egan still looking for a combo score against Dean Morrison, needing a 15.34 total to answer back to Dean's 9.0 and a 6.33.
Well, yeah, and I wonder how Luke's feeling at the moment. He came out of retirement to surf a couple of heats here at the last event that he won on tour. You know, he's probably feeling, you know, a bit bummed that he's not winning this heat, and it looks like he's probably going to go out the back door. However, I'm almost sure he's probably feeling a little bit of a relief to see a kid like Dean Morrison doing so well, coming on so strongly, and you know, I wonder perhaps too if Dingo himself, he's a sly little bugger, and I reckon he's been watching his mates. He watched his mates Joel and Mick make the final of the last event and be in such good form, and I reckon Dingo's gone, I'm not letting them get all the glory, man. I'm going to fire up at Mundaka and show them what I'm made of.
Yeah, he had to settle for winning the Avion Expression session at the Quicksilver Pro France, the last event. Stop number 8 on the Foster's ASP Men's World Tour.
Oh,
so
man.
it was a Coolangatta trifecta, kids, but yeah, definitely Dean Morrison wanting to trade in the winner of the Expression session to winner of the event. But it was nice to see all 3 of them up on the podium at the last event in France. And out in the water, we are down to the 2 minute and 15 second mark. So this one is pretty much over for Luke Egan. Looks like Dean Morrison will be moving on to round 3. Once again, can't tell you who exactly he will be up against. But one thing we can tell you is the swell has arrived. There's plenty of surf out in the water, and coming up next, Danny Wills and Yuri Sodre in heat number 5. So a little break in the lineup. Well, going to another Louis grab. I was going to say we could read some emails, but we're going to listen to Luke Egan instead.
I'd rather listen to Luke and see what he's got to say,
Me too,
mate.
personally.
Well, since I finished the tour, I've still been surfing a lot. If there's waves, I get a surf in the morning every day. And yeah, and sometimes in the afternoon when it's not winter time at home. But also, you know, we had a few northerlies lately. I've been skateboarding a bit. You know, I've been doing a lot of different things at home that I never used to do. That, you know, I used to skate when I was a kid, but I couldn't do it when I was on the tour, because if you hurt yourself, you know, you're kind of jeopardising a lot of stuff. So yeah, I've been getting back into that, and the northerlies at home, I've been skating a bit and enjoying it. It's been really good.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Louis. We know now what he really thinks about being off the tour.
Keeping himself occupied in his free time, getting to do all that stuff that never had time for while he was on the ASP Dream Tour.
That's right, because you have no time. If you're a pro surfer, all you're allowed to do is surf. There's, you know,
it's a rough life, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
You're told that at the outside. Listen, buddy, you're on the big tour now. All you do is surf and shut up.
Fair enough.
Unless GC wants to talk to you.
Where do I sign up, Nick? No, my time has been and gone. Yours as well. Moved on to other things.
Thank goodness for that. And, well, sets beginning to approach the contest side again. Now,
13
Dino,
seconds remaining, so this could...
Dino wants a final wave, man. He wants the last wave. He's had such a good session here.
Well, you don't like paddling in from a session ever, do you, Nick?
I never paddle in from a
There
session.
you go. Well, okay, one last lap for Luke Egan.
Good on you, Louie.
Yeah.
The hearts of the world surfers go with you as you head down the line.
What a
here
pleasure
at
to see.
Mundaka.